Hello, so we're here again in this Crystals and Chakras series where you find soul healing if needed, consciousness expansion, and the joy of life. And today we're going to talk about rose quartz. And this is a very beautiful, powerful stone. It's very well known, right, as a very loving stone, and it really does align the heart chakra. It really helps the heart chakra be balanced because first of all, it's rose, it's pink, right? And pink is a very soothing, loving color. So all pink stones tend to be very graceful. Rose quartz in particular, because it belongs to the trigonal system, it aligns the heart chakra and the crown chakra. It creates that connection. And we especially want to think about right now and focus on the heart energy and the pink of rose quartz. So all quartz crystals are very fast in their energy. They work really fast. So rose quartz is very powerful to balance the heart chakra when we are sad and when we are living in grief. Because especially the grief part, it really helps us allow things to shift and deal with loss and create detachment. One of my greatest Deepak Chopra quotes is that he says, the greatest act of self-love is detachment. So this is a daily practice. The more you detach from people, from things, from occasions, from not allowing things to be your way and just releasing that kind of control, the more you detach, the more you love yourself. It is an act of self-love, which is the most powerful and general attribute of rose quartz. It is the master stone of love in general. But in the Carnal Method, I like to think about love as a threefold process, as three steps, and one requires the other. So self-love is the seed of everything. Every genuine love starts with self-love. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others genuinely. So then we come to this dilemma, right? And on the emotional level, some people have behaviors that show that they love other people more than they love themselves. They put others in front of them. They put themselves as the last person in their list of priorities. That is not necessarily loving others more than yourself. That is actually lack of self-love. And I know this may sound a little strange to some people, but you can't love other people more than you love yourself because love is not a dualistic energy. It's not one or the other. So the most powerful kind of love in the planet is from a mother to her child. And mothers will say, I love my child more than I love myself. I would die for my child. Even fathers will say that. But it's actually an act of self-love when you love your child because it's part of you. It's an extension of you. I don't really want to get too caught up in the family aspect of this because there are, other priorities to talk about when we focus on rose quartz. So I want you to think about the love for self as the beginning of love. And that is not selfish at all. Okay, this is really where your love connection starts, and love is a more sophisticated energy than survival, than pleasure, and then self-esteem and self-confidence. Love is much more, it's lighter and it's much more, it's just a higher vibrational frequency, if you will. So love for self is something that rose quartz really encourages. When you love yourself enough, you can love others genuinely because it will be detached. So a lot of people mistake love for others because they think that their neediness is love. Okay, so maybe they need other people or they need to affirm an identity of the helper or of someone who loves others more than they love themselves. That could be in an idealized self-image. And all crystals bring forth the truth. So they bring an awareness to you. If your love for someone else is making you suffer, or if you're suffocating someone else with your love, that is not an aligned love. That's not genuine love. It's what in family constellations they will call the love of the child, an immature kind of love. So the immature love will put others before self. Mature love puts yourself in this energy of love, and that creates alignment for your love to be mature for other people. Your children, your loved ones, any person, a romantic relationship, a friendship, whatever it is in your love relationship. Okay? So it's powerful to understand the energy of love, this heart chakra vibration. And once you love yourself enough, you're able to love others genuinely. So loving yourself is the first step. That unfolds into love for others, people around you. And that unfolds into the third step, which is love for humanity. But this is something that most human beings are yet to experience. It is our human nature. It is how nature intended for us to love a stranger as much as we love ourselves or our children and loved ones. However, that's not how we operate as human beings yet. Most people are going to say, don't ask me to love a stranger more than I love my child. That's exactly what the avatars, the great masters, people like Buddha, Jesus, all the ascended masters, right? They all, and Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, all these examples of love in the world, they love genuinely any being that crosses their path without what David Hume would call selective affections. So it is a process, and I don't want you to focus on becoming an ascended master right now. I just want you to focus on something very simple in the present moment, which is love for self, where everything begins. And that's what rose quartz brings to you on the emotional level. Okay? Second of all, on the emotional level, there is something about rose quartz that unfolds into a mental benefit that is an accepting mind. A mind that, as I said before, allows change, that is receptive to change. And that is important because that kind of mind is mature, and that kind of mind deals well with grief. When we lose a loved one, when we lose a job, when we lose a position, when we need to face change in our professional life, when someone moves, someone we love moves, it's just very important to understand that a receptive mind, a mind that allows change, a mind that embraces change is very healthy. And that's something rose quartz very much contributes to. It really is inspiring in that level when it comes to the mental benefits of this stone. When it comes to the physical benefits, this whole area of the heart chakra, which is three-dimensional, so it's not just the chest area, it's also the back, right? It encompasses the lungs. Rose quartz is powerful for any stagnant energy in your lungs and in your heart. And also in your breasts, right? Especially for women, the breasts are like a downward shaping, like a heart that's pointing down. So rose quartz really contributes to the health of the circulatory system, the health of the physical heart on a subtle energetic level, the health of the breasts, and the health of the lungs. In Chinese medicine, the lungs are responsible for the energy of grief. They manage the emotion of grief. And if we're too attached to other people, to situations, to whatever it is, to a lifestyle, the lungs are energetically imbalanced. So rose quartz really helps on that level. Remember, detachment is a very powerful act of self-love. So you really want to focus on that and allow this whole heart chakra area, the chests and your upper back, to benefit from detachment, self-love, and an allowing mind that allows change. On the spiritual level, as I say, it's always the most important piece, because once you grasp the spiritual aspect of the stones, right, and the benefits, the spiritual benefits of the stones, everything unfolds, the emotional, the physical, and the mental. You get those benefits by default. So on a spiritual level, the beauty of rose quartz, as I said, it's a very graceful stone, so it comes with a lot of grace, is to be receptive. That's why a lot of people say that rose quartz is a very feminine stone, not because of women, because all people have both polarities, right? All beings have masculine and feminine. But what can be called feminine on an energetic level is receptiveness, knowing how to receive. If you know how to receive, you won't resist change. If you know how to receive, you will automatically develop self-love. It's just such a beautiful state of being. And this spiritual attribute of receptivity in rose quartz can be felt very quickly if you connect to the stone. Dynamically, if you connect to the stone constantly, it's a stone that a lot of people like to have, right? And it really does speak to the higher self and the level of being receptive. So especially if you have hardship with someone, or maybe with a culture, or maybe with an area of life, anything that you don't really love, pausing, detaching, observing, and being receptive to that energy is a quality of a balanced heart chakra, and it is something that rose quartz greatly benefits you with. So pay attention to your levels of receptivity, especially people who have a hard time with relationships and love relationships. Could be friendships, could be romantic relationships. Family relationships are in the lower chakras, but the freedom of choosing your relationships is really a heart chakra attribute. So pay attention to the quality of your friendships and your love relationships. And the more receptive you are, the more you will enjoy an expansion of your heart chakra. The more you'll be able to be friends with other people, the more you'll be able to have a balanced relationship in your romantic area. Even if you have broken up, a lot of people have such turmoil with their exes, right? There's still such resentment, such pain. And to start unblocking the heart chakra is really to be receptive to even the people who have hurt you, and detaching from the pain and focusing on the love, which transmutes itself. Remember, life is ever changing, life is dynamic, and rose quartz has the attribute of allowing change. Maybe a romantic relationship had a beginning, middle, and end, but the love can still be there in a respectful way, in a transmuted way, and in a much more graceful way. Okay, so you don't have to love someone, ends the relationship, now you hate the person. That is not a loving energy, and that really does block the heart chakra. This stone is especially good also for people who have not had significant relationships, or they were married or are married to people they did not love. Sometimes it's a marriage of convenience, sometimes it's just autopilot, who knows? But allowing yourself to be in a romantic relationship with someone you love, in a romantic relationship with someone you really do care for, right? Some people will say, how can it be romantic if there is no love involved? It can, because sometimes romantic relationships are all about attachment and not about love, right? And the quality of your friendships too. Maybe you don't really have the power yet, the discernment to pick the right friends. Maybe you'll handpick the wrong people to be your friends. That is an indication of lack of self-love. So remember, love for others has high quality the more you love yourself. You will be more mindful of your emotional choices. And rose quartz is incredibly powerful for this. All right? Now, to get practical, how do you use these crystals? How does rose quartz benefit you in a practical way? So I'm going to show you 3 practices, 3 ways to use this. The first, and I believe most powerful one, because it's all about self-love, is to wear it as a pendant or a necklace, but near your heart. Okay, wear rose quartz close to your heart. I have a pendant here, and just allow that stone to bring in all those attributes, all those benefits to your heart. It's just going to be resting there. You don't have to think much. You just allow the energy to work and to align your blueprint, and it's beautiful and powerful. A second way is to wear bracelets, okay? I'm wearing two right now because the heart meridian and the pericardial meridian run through your arms. And remember that your arms are extensions of your heart. So wearing rose quartz bracelets really brings you this vitality in the sense of a loving, kind, graceful energy from rose quartz, and it's also benefiting your heart and the extensions of your heart. Another very powerful way to use rose quartz is to have a heart-shaped rose quartz. I always say that shape doesn't matter, and it really doesn't when it comes to crystals. You want to focus on the color and the internal geometry, and that internal geometry is much more powerful. It's way better to focus on that than on the external shape of the stone. So right here you can see I have, a rough rose quartz. This one is a sphere. We have another sphere here. We have an egg, rose quartz points. We've got these wands and a heart, right? I want you to really see this. It doesn't matter what the shape is, but when it comes to rose quartz, I really do recommend a heart-shaped rose quartz, because not just because it's so literal, and the subconscious mind needs literal information, because the subconscious mind is the mind of a child, and we all have that. No matter how sophisticated and mature you are and how you've developed your conscious mind, everybody's subconscious mind is a child's subconscious mind. Okay, it thinks like a child. So it is powerful, and when it comes to rose quartz specifically, to have a heart-shaped rose quartz. And the energy that really demolishes all negative emotions and lack of love is gratitude. So I just want you now to take a deep breath, because gratitude does dissolve negative emotions and lack of love. Gratitude opens the door to genuine love. So having a heart-shaped rose quartz and creating a gratitude energy with it. So I have a practice called the gratitude flow that is really powerful, that you hold any crystal in your hand and you create a gratitude flow with it. But right now, a very simple practice with rose quartz for gratitude is to have a rose quartz heart, hold it in your hand or in your hands or in both hands. Just, the middle of your hands have chakras too, energy centers that are extensions of your heart. That's where healing comes from as well. If you're a healer, hands-on healing does come from the middle of your palms, right? So placing a rose quartz in one hand on the other or in both, like this, you can just hold this stone and say, I love myself and I'm grateful for my life. I love myself and I'm grateful for my life. I love myself and I'm grateful for my life. Repeat this 3 times. It doesn't have to be 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes. 3 times whenever you feel, you see your rose quartz heart lying around wherever it is. Take it, hold it, and just say, I love myself and I'm grateful for my heart, for my life. I love myself and I'm grateful for my life. I love myself and I'm grateful for my life. Repeat this 3 times. The affirmation hypnotizes the subconscious mind, and this starts creating a love flow. Both the affirmation, I love myself, and I'm grateful for my life, that really, really does dissolve the negative energy from your heart chakra. I cannot describe how powerful it is, except to tell you and say how much has been helping me in my life and the people I've taught this to. So I hope this has been useful for you. Please comment your experience below this video. If you haven't yet signed up to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. And I cannot wait to see the shifts in your life once you start using rose quartz on a daily basis and creating beautiful vibrations in your heart chakra for yourself, for everyone around you, and for the world. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you soon.